So I woke up early this morning, 3:30 a.m., just to dive into Marvel Future Revolution for as many hours as I possibly could so that I can get the information, get the feel for the game, and compare it to Diablo Immortal. What is up, my friends? My name is Echo, and welcome back to my Diablo Immortal action RPG mobile channel, which has a lot less Diablo Immortal lately because we're waiting for the game and more of things like this. Now, what I'm always trying to do here on the channel is find games that are comparable to Diablo Immortal and let you know if they're better, worse, or just as good. Because we all know Diablo Immortal is the best action RPG that will soon be available on mobile devices. So today we're comparing Diablo Immortal to Marvel Future Revolution, and I want to start out with the character classes. So in Diablo Immortal, upon its launch, we're going to have 6 classes. We're going to have the Barbarian, the Monk, the Crusader. Those are our melee classes. Then we're going to have the Demon Hunter, the Wizard, and eventually, upon the next testing phase, the Necromancer. Now, I want to compare those 6 classes to the 7 or 8 classes available here in Marvel Future Revolution. Now, the cool thing about this game is when you first log on, you get to try out and actually have to try out all of the characters through a kind of a tutorial. All of these characters also come with 3 different skins that you can use. First one we had was Captain America. Following that up, we have Captain Marvel, who has some different skins as well. Notice next to the character name, you have the difficulty and how hard it is to control them. As you can see, Spider-Man is a difficulty of 4 for control. The highest difficulty that I was able to find was a difficulty of 5, which I believe was Captain America. Then we come over here to Black Widow. Oh, she is the 5. Captain America was actually the level 4. Hardest to control, maybe the most brutal if you are able to control her over time. Then we have Iron Man with a control difficulty of 1. This is a ranged class which also does a bunch of melee damage as well. Not quite a tank, not quite a ranged class, but more like a hybrid, something that I guess you can compare to possibly the Monk. Then we have Doctor Strange, definitely a wizard type class which is able to use the world to do some damage. Notice here, it also has this great feature so it can show you and display how this character and how this character class does damage, so you can make these choices upon choosing your main class in the game. Again, all coming with 3 different skins. So Doctor Strange was that level 2. We had Star-Lord, who was actually my least favorite, coming in at a difficulty of 3 stars. And my favorite, the one that I ended up choosing to play, is Storm with a control difficulty of 2. She is the hottest character inside of the game, the best in my opinion, just because I love the idea of Storm. I love Storm back in the Marvel days, and after trying them all out, it felt really good playing as Storm. So a lot of the footage you're going to see here today is from me utilizing this character. Now, upon choosing your main character, you have 4 other slots with 4 more unlockable slots as you progress through the game. This is going to allow you to have 8 different characters that you can have unlocked all under the same account. Now, the first thing I want to do is talk about the combat. How did the game feel? As you can see from the HUD, there are a lot more buttons involved inside of this game than there are in Diablo Immortal. I wouldn't say it's difficult to control. All of the supers or the special abilities or the skills as we call them, they are all modifiable and upgradable. Unlike in Diablo Immortal where things upgrade with you along the way, you need to spend your resources, I believe it's gold in this case, to upgrade those skills. A lot of gold is needed to do the upgrades, but overall the feel and the control was pretty good. With Storm, for example, I could set her on fly mode or on ground mode, and it was a little bit easier for me to control her while she was on the ground. There is also auto pathing, so you can choose a location on the map like in Diablo Immortal, and it will automatically take your character there, so you don't have to do any endless running around from here to there to satisfy your missions. Now, the world is very big, and there are a lot of tasks for you to do inside of this game. It's not like you go through a stage and you finish the stage. In each stage, there are between 100 and 175 different tasks for you to do, which are going to allow you to get resources to upgrade literally everything. Because inside of this game, you could upgrade everything from how your character looks, to how they perform, to their skills, to their abilities, literally everything. If you think Diablo Immortal is a grind, wait until you play this one. The grind is Diablo Immortal times 10. In my opinion, and this is just for me playing for about 3 or 4 hours, all right? So I haven't gotten 20, 40, 100 hours into the game. It seemed like a lot. There was a huge learning curve, and just towards the end of my stream, I started to really understand the dynamics of the game and how it all worked. But one thing was for sure, the game is a grind. Now, we talked about leveling things up. You could level up your alliance that you're in. You could level up your squad, which is actually just a bunch of players that are all of your characters that you create. And in doing the squad, you're going to be dealing with their weapon development, armor design, and bionics. These are all going to be upgradable things, as you're seeing me upgrade right here. You can upgrade many different things. You're going to be able to upgrade the gear that you're wearing or costumes, your battle badges, which give you different buffs as well. You're going to be able to combine things to make them stronger, and that itself is a grind in itself. Really a lot of different modifications that you can make to each of the different heroes that you use. So when you think about 8 different heroes and all of the grinding that each one takes, there is a lot of time that you can spend inside of the game just doing simple things like we're doing right now, making Storm look a little better, perform a little better, because every little bit counts. Now, if we talk about the graphics, I think the graphics are really good. They're something typical of what you would expect from a Marvel game. They have that comic book looking feel, which is cool because this is based around a comic book world. On top of that, I would have to say that the graphics are not as good as the graphics that we're seeing in Diablo Immortal. What you're looking at right now are some type of cutscenes, and you can see that we're looking at a game that looks like one that's maybe 10 years old on console with what we're getting right here on mobile. Do I think the graphics are bad? No. Do I think they're the best? No. Do I think they're good? Yes, I do. There are rewards to grab and to be had all over this game. Everywhere you turn, there's a reason for you to pick up another mission, to defeat some enemies, and then to pick up a reward for doing it. It's going to give you gold, and it's also going to give you those health pods. You notice I have 63 of them right there, right now. It seems like a lot, but they go very quickly because your health regeneration, at least earlier on in the game, before you get some solid gear and before you get really good health regeneration, it regenerates at 3% health for every 5 to 6 seconds. Takes forever and completely takes you out of the battles. So you're gonna need to have those health pods so you can continue to maintain that battle action so you don't miss out on it, so you don't die, and so you don't have to waste gold to start at the same spot rather than starting all over. Now, you might find yourself playing with your thumb on the joystick and with your other thumb on the buttons to do all the actions, but you'll probably need your index finger to move forward and to change the direction that you're looking. So you're going to be using that claw motion, which is going to be thumb here with your other finger to make sure you're heading in the right direction and to adjust that camera. As you can see, from time to time, I did get myself stuck in the bush because it's a way of controlling that I'm not particularly comfortable with or used to. Definitely something that's intuitive over time that you wouldn't have an issue with. It just takes some getting used to if it's not something that you've done before. Now, it's also worth mentioning that you're going to go through these levels and enemies are going to continuously spawn. They will die, they will spawn. They will die and they will spawn. They'll only interact with you if you've initiated the interaction or if you have a mission selected that is something to do with those enemies. So you can literally run right past bad guys and they won't bother you if you have no interest in them or if it's not your selected mission. So to summarize, this game is really good. And I'm gonna tell you about the bad things in just a moment as well. The good thing about the game is that the graphics are really good, the controls are on point, and there's a ton of customization options and character types, so you could play any way that you want to. But notice something going on right now. This is one of the negatives. Can you tell me what it is? But before I get to the 2 negative things that I feel about this game, I'm going to continue with the positives. More positives are this has endless time, endless hours of gameplay. If you like Marvel story, this is all about that. It's got it all involved here for you. You can literally play this game for months, possibly even years on end. It is that deep. There's so much to it. Plus, there's different types of game modes. There's even PvP, PvE elements as well. So as you progress and dive deeper into the game, you could battle against your friends or against people that are not your friends. So you could smash them. That sounds fun. So yes, it's time that we get to the negatives. First of all, one of them that's very small, all of the voice acting is not yet complete. When you go and interact with another character, like right now, you're going to be speaking with them, and then quickly into that discussion, the mouths will move, the text will show, but there's no voices. The voice acting was just not finished. I personally don't care so much because I like to skip those scenes and get to the action anyway, but it's definitely something that Netmarble did not get to before this game actually launched. The second negative is this game has autoplay. You can click that button, that circular arrow in the bottom of the screen, and when it's lit to yellow, not only will it auto path, but it will also auto battle and you don't have to fight at all. Reminds me of Black Desert Mobile and how that whole mechanic works. I was disappointed when I saw that there was auto battle inside of the game. It's just not something that I like to see in the majority of the games I play. Now, yes, some games are okay to have auto battle. I don't believe that this genre, action RPG, MMO style games, I don't like it in this genre. So when I saw that here, it was a bit of a disappointment. On top of that, this game seems to have a bit of a paywall. I could see you having to grind endlessly to get your characters leveled up to the level that you're going to want them to be able to compete, especially in the PvP elements of the game. There are a lot of things to pay for, a lot of options. Nothing is forced. There doesn't seem to be an energy system or anything like that inside of the game. You could play endlessly, but you're going to hit a spot where it just takes you forever to level up. And you're going to just be forced to spend money if you want to compete at that level. So the three negatives are the dialogue not being complete, autoplay, and very possibly having some heavy pay-to-win mechanics. So how does this tie into Diablo Immortal? In my opinion, I believe Diablo Immortal is a much better game. But with that being said, this one is nothing to ignore. It is a lot of fun pulling you into that Marvel universe. And it's a game that's going to be popular and going to be played by tons of people. So you know you'll be getting into a community that's going to be a solid one for a long time. Plus, on top of that, if you're a Marvel fan, you really can't go wrong. If I had to choose between Marvel Future Revolution and Diablo Immortal, if I had to choose one, it would be Diablo Immortal. But lucky for me, I don't have to choose. And neither do you. Let me know in the comments section below which game you like better. Which one do you think looks better? Do you like the Marvel-themed Marvel Future Revolution or the Hell-ridden themed Diablo Immortal? I'm going to be looking into the comments to see what you guys have to say. Remember, you guys can come follow me over on Twitter as well. And if you like the video, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for regular Diablo Immortal and other mobile action RPG videos. Have a great day, guys. And be good.